luck going out to see us through some time.
Oh, yes, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Near the end of February. Yes, look at all the people in here. Hey, don't even pretend. It's not even about that. It's not. This is a real life thing. This is the way life is. We try to be as real as we can around here. Matter of fact, we also try to promote original music, which is great because both of those things are going to be happening tonight. Original music and real life. And real life is that sometimes there's not a lot of people in the audience because the people we have tonight, not everyone has heard of them before. But the reason we do what we do, which is broadcast to you people out there. And you know what? Just to bring this point up, by the end of the night, when I go up around midnight and I go back and I look at the show for the evening, sometimes there's like 30, 40 views. And I know a lot of those people are local people, you know, because if they were from out of town, they'd be writing me. So if the people, I mean, the least you could do is sometimes if you see us, drop us $20 or send $5 or put $2 down every time. It doesn't take much. There's a PayPal thing. If you just look down to the right there underneath the screen, yeah, right down there, it says how to go with PayPal. And it would sure help us maintain what it is we're doing, which is providing you a free service. You know, as they say, nothing is for free. Everything else costs money, right? Remember the nothing part, nothing. You can have absolutely nothing, or you can have the privilege of being able to watch the shows and find out some of the great music that's happening around the world. Now tonight, our first guy, Findlay Napier, he's from Scotland, and as he got here, like, there's neat how agents work. I have a friend back in Eastern Canada who was able to connect me with the fact that he was going to be out here and could we add him to the show. And it was, yeah, we were going to do that. It'd be great. But when he gets here, we realized that we had seen each other back in Montreal at the Folk Alliance last year. And that he didn't go this year, but he has been at the Folk Alliance International down in Kansas City. And that is a collection of folk musicians and musicians, buyers and agents and all that people get together and sort of have a conference. It's kind of like a job trade fair or something, like where you're all trying to get work and impress each other and do all those things, but it's also about having the fun of playing music. And it's quite neat when you discover that someone such as Findlay has been doing this for a couple of years. So, and especially when you think about if you leave Scotland to go across Canada on a tour, you must have been doing something right along the way, or else you've just been banging your head against the wall. The man's got some really nice tunes he's written. He's got a really good voice. He's strong of stature. Gives you that feeling of what a Scotsman would be if they lived up in the northern end, which is where he's from, the mountain kind of guy. But he's worth watching out and catching on. So tonight, when you're watching this, he's going to be around the island. He's going to be around the southern BC. If you hear where he's playing next, make sure you get your friends to go see him, and you'll understand why when you first hear him. Please give him a warm welcome. Findlay Napier to the stage.
Graham's quite short, isn't he? Right. Hang on. Hello, Duncan!
Can you take
light shine down, you disappear, disappear. And every time the lights shine down on you, you disappear, disappear. Eddie Lamar, if only they'd see beyond the silver screen. Too beautiful, too beautiful, too beautiful, too beautiful. Thank you. Thanks very much. It's good to be here. I've got this weird feeling like I've been in Duncan before. I know I've driven through it, but I feel like I stopped here. I recognised the florist on the corner for some reason. Very strange. Anyway, that was about Hedy Lamarr. I don't know if you're aware of Hedy Lamarr. She was a famous actress, very beautiful. Well, do you know, I was just going to say that. The whole song was all about that. The fact that she invented the technology that became Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. And they wouldn't let her be a scientist. Which was foolish, because we could have had Bluetooth and Wi-Fi years ago, and then we'd all have been able to stare on our crotches all the way through the 70s and 80s. Bus stops. It would have been good. Whoa. I've gone off piste already. All right, I'll tell you what. This is called Young Goths in the Necropolis, and it's about young Goths in the Necropolis. It's a graveyard in Glasgow that's on a hill. They're currently filming the new Batman movie there. So if you want to get a feel for what the Necropolis looks like, just Google Batman falls off motorbike. And what I used to do was I would leave my house and I would run, use the term run loosely, I would run along Alexandra Parade, and I'd run round the back of the hospital and the cathedral. If you've just taken up running, you'll need one or the other. I'd run across the Bridge of Sighs, and I'd turn round into the hill where Batman falls off his bike, and I would run up this hill. And when I'd get to a certain point of where I was going to die, and I'd stop there and just walk the rest of the way. And one time I'm coming down the hill, and going up the hill rather, and there's these two Goths coming down towards me, arm in arm, very romantic. And I thought they're going to start taking the piss out of me. They're going to start shouting stuff like, "You look like £10 of mints in a £5 bag." I'll translate that as well. You look like, no, £10 of mints, about 5 kilograms of ground beef in a 2.5 kilogram bag. There you go. Anyway, they didn't. They cheered me on. They went, "Come on, man, you can do it." And I ran past them, and I got all the way up to the top of the hill. There's this statue of John Knox, the religious leader, whose religious teachings are very simple. He just said no to everything except the Bible. "Do you fancy a dance, John?" "No." Anyway, I got to the top there. It was like that scene from Rocky, you know, yes, but with a fat, bald folk singer in ill-fitting lycra. Up there in the graveyard where all the weirdos go, I saw you making footprints in the freshly sprinkled snow. You trampled out a pentagram, arms wrapped around your chest. From the spires to the island, we looked out to the west. Up there in the graveyard, the city of the dead, you were Lady Mayor and I did everything you said. You summoned all the demons, none of them appeared. Snow melted in the afternoon, the magic disappeared. A genie is a memory. We walked among the stones I felt your fingers touching mine, and I felt safe and free. When he wasn't talking with the birds or ringing on his bell, St. Mungo fished for salmon at the bottom of this hill. Here in the necropolis, John Knox disapproves of all your pacing and your shouting and your God with horns and hooves. We waited on the Bridge of Sighs for you to check your phone. Your mother came to pick you up, then she drove you home. I walked up through the graveyard, looked back out to the west, and I listened to the hoodie crows and wondered what comes next. A genius of memory, we walked among the stones. I felt your fingers touching mine, and I felt safe and free. A genius of memory, we walked among the stones. I felt your fingers touching mine, and I felt safe and free. Thank you. So I live in Glasgow now and have done for 20 odd years. This is a famous Glasgow song called Cod Liver Oil and the Orange Juice. You alright? Don't jump. It's alright, man. The sound's great. It's not worth it. So, cod liver oil and the orange juice is what they used to give to pregnant women, and this is a kind of fairly silly song. If you're struggling to understand what I'm going on about, you could raise your hands and I'll translate for you. Yeah, very good. Yes. Some folk aren't fast enough for that burn. Out to the east there came a hard man, whoa, all the way frae Brigton, glory hallelujah, cod liver oil and the orange juice. Went into a pub and he came out paralytic, whoa, VP inside at glory hallelujah, cod liver oil and the orange juice. Does this bus go to the Denniston Pally? Whoa, I'm looking for a lumber. Glory hallelujah, cod liver oil and the orange juice. I found out that I lived along the road from the Denniston Pally. It'd been this famous dance hall, and now it was a Summerfield supermarket. I was in the supermarket and a woman was running my things through the till, and I said, "Mary, do you know that this used to be the Summerfield supermarket?" She said, "It's the Summerfield supermarket right now, man." I said, "Do you know it used to be the Denniston Pally?" Which is what I meant to say, but I had got flustered. I said, "Did you know it was the Denniston Valley?" She said, "Yes, I met my husband here." I said, "Really?" She said, "Aye, just over there by the frozen turkeys." At the dance and he met Harry Mary, oh, flew to the Gorbals, glory hallelujah, cod liver oil and the orange juice. Well, new Mary, are you dancing? Oh no, it's just the way I'm standing. Glory, hallelujah. Cod liver oil and the orange juice. Well, new Mary, you're one in a million. Oh, so's your chances. Glory, hallelujah. Cod liver oil and the orange juice. Well, new Mary, can I run ye home? Oh no, I've got a pair of sand shoes. You're hell of a funny. Cod liver oil and the orange juice. One of my dad's friends, he pulled in the Denniston Valley and he gets the girl outside. He's from a town on the outskirts of Glasgow called Rutherglen, a satellite town. And he says, can I run you home? And she goes, where are you from? And he says, Rutherglen. And she goes, I'm looking for a boyfriend, no a pen pal. Out of the back, closed down into the dunny. Oh, it wasn't for the first time. Glory, hallelujah. Cod liver oil and the orange juice. Out came her mammy, she was going to the clutchy. Oh, I buggered off sharpish. Glory, hallelujah. Cod liver oil and the orange juice. New hairy Mary, she's looking for her hard man. Oh, he's joined the Foreign Legion. Sahara under a camel. Cod liver oil and the orange juice. New hairy Mary, she's had a little baby. Oh, feathers in the army. Glory, hallelujah. Cod liver oil and the orange juice. Cod liver oil and the orange juice. Thank you. I'm now going to perform for you a 3-hour Netflix documentary called Wild Wild Country that I have, well, along with my good friend Megan Henwood, we turned into a song. Has anyone seen Wild Wild Country, the documentary? Nothing but the sound of tumbleweed, the sea crashing against the shore in Fanny Bay. There is a place here called Fanny Bay, isn't there? Oh, it's good to be alive. I bet it's just tour buses full of Scottish people standing at the sign, pissing themselves laughing. There's a place called Fanny Bay! Glorious. Oh, it's probably not translating for you guys, but if you're Scottish, that is the funniest thing ever, especially the sign that says Fanny Bay oysters. I think fanny means a different thing in Scotland from what it means here. It can be used as a term of, as like like you can call someone a fanny and it's not a nice thing to call them. And it's also, it's a part of it's the other side from what the Americans use for fanny. Anyway, I think that's enough, isn't it? What was I talking about again? Well, apart from talking about fannies, what was I talking about? This gig's totally derailed. I came on stage, I looked at my set list, I played a different song, and now I'm talking about fannies. Don't worry. If anyone's watching this at home, I'm sorry. Wild Wild Country. So, this guy starts a cult in India, and it's called the Rajneeshi cult. He was called Bhagwan or Osho. And they ended up buying a place, a big muddy ranch in Oregon. It was a massive, massive place. And the guy next door owned Nike, of the running shoe fame, Mr. Nike. He has another name, but we'll call him Mr. Nike and save an hour. Mike Nike, yeah. Mike Nike. So Mike Nike was got a wee bit unhappy about these folks being there, because at that point there'd been 23 people living on that ranch in Antelope, Oregon, the Big Muddy Ranch. Within a few months there was about 1,000 people there. They started building a city. They built an international airport, and then Mr. Knight got guns, they got guns, like a proper cult. See, if you join one of these things, you're like, it's a religion. It's not a cult, it's a religion, right? At what point, like, how many Rolls Royces does the guy have to buy before you're like, I don't know, man, I think this might be a cult? You know, like, how many guns do they have to buy? I don't remember when I went to Sunday school that we had, like, loads of Rolls Royces painted in psychedelic colors and AK-47s. Anyway, so that started happening, and then it kind of culminated in the largest act of chemical weapons terrorism on US soil, where they poisoned the salad bars in the local Denny's with salmonella, and then they tried to they tried to shoot and assassinate the local district attorney. It was all very exciting. I spent about 2 hours one night trying to find out if the documentary was a hoax and that I'd been sucked into a big hoax, but no. Here we go. I was a fool and I rushed in, all tangled up in the heat of the movement. Worship the ground he's walking, measure up apricot robes, I'm coming. One step further out from the drama, one step closer to my nirvana. I am open, I am empty, take my money, make me holy. Big money gonna hypnotize, show me how to live my life. They're moving earth, they're building beautiful people, hollow and yearning. Our show is out in the wild, wild country. He's in a Rolls Royce, they're growing hungry. Get your gun and get with the program. Red rats run to protect the big man. I am open, I am empty, take my money, make me holy. Big money gonna hypnotize, show me how to live my life. Cross my legs, close my eyes, sign up for a paradise underneath an Oregon sky. Show me how to live my life. Stop the attorney, silence the weapons. Pure is the journey, ended in poison. And it's 84 and it's over. We carried that can, got no closure. One step further out from nirvana, one step closer to all the drama. And I am open, I am empty, take my money, make me holy. Big money gonna hypnotize, show me how to live my life. Cross my legs, close my eyes, sign up for a paradise underneath an Oregon sky. Show me how to live my life, live my life. Thank you. That was almost as intense as actually being there, wasn't it? Yeah, God, whew. Let's do a song about. I'll do something calming, and then I'll shout at you again for a bit. This is about the Locarno Ballroom in Glasgow, which was on Sauchiehall Street, and it's now a Genting casino. I once got dragged there by some friends of mine. I couldn't get in the casino at all, right? There were too many of us, and the only way, you probably don't know this because you're good people, but the only way you can get into a casino is you have to be a member, so you have to sign up. And the guy said, well, listen, you can come in if you join, have you got your driver's license, and we'll sign you up. And I said, oh, I do, great. So I got my driver's license out of my wallet. I'd been drinking heavily, and it was after 3 in the morning. I'd started at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was like that scene, actually, from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, where they were literally just pulling drunk people in off the street. Come in, come in. Anyway, so got my driver's license out. He said, have you got your license? I said, yes. He said, okay, what's your name? Findlay, Napier. Okay, types it in the computer. He said, what's your address? And I started telling him my address, and I got as far as my flat. So flat 1/2, and he said the rest of the address. And I was like, God, that's amazing. How did you get that just from that? He's not got my driver's license or anything. I said, that's really impressive. And he turned the screen round like this. And there's my face on the screen, looking a wee bit merry with no beard. It was not my first visit to the Genting Casino. It was my third. And behind my driver's license, I discovered my Genting Casino membership card. Yeah. Anyway, so it used to be the Locarno. The only thing I knew about the Locarno, apart from the fact that it had a beautiful front, was that Alex and Cecilia won the dancing competition there in 1928. So I kind of had to make the rest of this song up. You just have to imagine, it takes a bit of imagination, this actually. Just have to imagine that I've just lost a ballroom dancing competition in 1928 and that I'm female. Okay? It might help to close your eyes. I don't know. Alex and Cecilia won in 1928. They were the perfect couple in the hall. And when the music played, it's like their souls took wing. I could have sworn they floated 6 feet above us all. I'd do anything if I could win, but I am stuck with you. To dance, to get lost and to be found. I chose you for your childlike face, your red and rosy cheeks. Now you look like a butcher who's been at all the beef. I don't know why I bothered, I thought this would be fun. But you only keep time when you beat the Pope off your bass drum. I'd do anything to dance with them, but I am stuck with you. Locarno, Locarno, where people come to dance, to get lost and to be found. Locarno, Locarno, there's only so much love to go around. I know they are not married, if her husband only knew. I caught them in the cloakrooms doing what young lovers do. But there's no place for jealousy when you're dancing for a prize. And how can they help falling into each other's eyes? I'd do anything to go home. I've breathed in a large chunk of the backdrop here. I'll go for it anyway. What will happen is that towards the end of this, a single tear will roll down my cheek and into my beard, and you guys will think, man, this guy's really into this. Here we go. People come to dance, to get lost and to be found. There's only so much love to go around. There's only so much love to go around. Let me have a drink of water. Oh, I must have been emoting too much and I don't know, breathed in something. Right, what will I do? I've got a set list. How am I doing for time, by the way? I paid no attention. I didn't set. I've got a special alarm that goes off that tells me, but I forgot to set it off. Got off. Fucking awesome. I mean, goodness me, that's great. Oh, man. Right, okay. Might have to bleep that. I don't know what the rules are here. This is called Wire Burners. It's a regular 9 to 5. It's the way that we survive. Only way to keep alive. Wire burners. You might see us on the street, but our eyes will never meet. You will never see us greet. Wire burners. How I came to be this way, I couldn't tell. All I can say, tomorrow will be like today, and every day. Follow the rainbow over the Clyde to the fireplace on the other side. In plain sight is where they hide. Wire burners. To be this way, I couldn't tell. All I can say, tomorrow will be like today, and every day. Old pushing trolleys through the town with the stuff that we have found. Daylight ghosts that walk around. Wire burners. This much is true for wire burners, old is new, but for the grace of God go you. How I came to be this way, I couldn't tell. All I can say, tomorrow will be like today, and every day, and every day. Thank you. There was a radio show out in New York called Radio Unnameable, and there's a brilliant film about it, which is also called Radio Unnameable. But the guy, Bob Fass, who did the radio show, he'd do mad things like he would play records backwards, or he'd play two records at the same time. He'd take phone calls from people, and he'd speak to them just like anybody could call in, chat about anything, but he'd also do things like you get one phone call from one person, one from another, and he'd kind of join the two phones together, and then just two random people would chat to each other on air. It's a really beautiful idea. And he kind of, he was a real activist in New York for kind of peace and love and communities coming together. But he's most famous for saving a guy's life live on air. A guy called in. He said that he'd taken lots of pills and he was going to die live on air to teach everyone a lesson. And Bob Fass, instead of kind of hanging up on him or anything, he just started chatting to him like it was, you know, the most normal thing in the world. You can listen to you can listen to it. It's amazing. And what Bob Fass ended up doing was just getting just little bits of information about where this guy might be. And the guy kept going, "Oh, you're trying to find out where I am. I'm not telling you." And eventually the guy got really slurry and really slow. And then they heard him fall and the phone fall, and they could hear him breathing. And at that point, Bob Fass just played the Doors album, or the Doors record rather, "Hello, I Love You, Won't You Tell Me Your Name," on repeat until they found him. And they found him because people had been listening into the show and they called up their friends they knew that worked in the New York Telephone Exchange. And loads of people went into the telephone exchange and they got their little earpiece in and they went through every single phone number on the telephone exchange until they found, "Hello, I love you, won't you tell me your name?" And then the police went round, kicked his door in, they saved his life. Yeah. It's almost like that. Boo! Anyway, so this is a song about that called Unnameable Radio. Yeah, it's an amazing... See if you watch the documentary, there's a really cool bit where Harry Nilsson... People just would rock up at the studio. So it's like Bob Dylan just shows up and has a wee song. There's one where Harry Nilsson comes in and he's singing one of his new songs. And he's brought one of his friends along with him, and his friends has had rather a lot to drink and is quite belligerent. And Harry Nilsson sings this song, and Bob Fass is like, "Hey, that's great." And the other guy's like, "That's rubbish. This song that I wrote today, it's the best song ever." He's basically been out, he's written this song, and he's gone out celebrating it. Anyway, he takes the guitar off of Harry Nilsson. "Wait to hear this, wait to hear this, wait to hear this." And he starts playing the guitar, and it's the first ever recording of Mr. Bojangles. It was Jerry Jeff Walker, steaming, absolutely steaming. It's brilliant. You can see him as well because they filmed it, and he's like this, you know, up at the mic. Still gets the song out. I think his recording is better than the one in the studio, though. Although there's just something lovely about him singing this nice song about peace and love. But he's like, "My song is better than yours." Peace and love. Anyway. WBAINYC, Unnameable Radio. Late shift night owls, 60th there's snow. Mr. Fast rolling rice, red light is on. And I love Lord play another song. You think you'll die of a broken heart? Get on the phone. Stand up, don't hang up, draw you in to trace you. Tuned in to pass on your last lullaby. Live on the wireless, saying life's overrated. Your radio waving goodbye. Poor Stanley's drought ridden all on his own, drowning in despair. Mixed pills, seltzer, slips away in his chair. Let's count a minute against the dead air. No ginger tiptoes, no victims here. Gave it away, can't ask for it back. Lay down the phone. Stand up, don't hang up, draw you in to trace you. Tuned in to pass on your last lullaby. listening. Mention any sign, you gave us a clue. Stop making sense, succumb to your poison. You're not off the hook, we're coming to save you. Michael Valenti is betting his life. He's gambling sedated on 87, keeps stalling. The company's chased it. Empathy specialist microphone weeps. Hello, I love you, and Michael falls asleep. It's not that I don't want to live. The doors close the show. Stand up, don't hang up, draw you in to trace you. Tune in to pass on your last lullaby. Live on the wireless and life's overrated. Your radio waving goodbye. Stand up, don't hang up, draw you in to trace you. Tune in to pass on your last lullaby. Live on the wireless and life's overrated. Your radio waving goodbye. Your radio waving goodbye. Your radio waving goodbye. Thank you. What have we got on here? I've done that. Yeah, I'll do this. I don't even know what the point of having a bloody set list is. I've just been doing whatever I want, and then I look down at that and go, "Oh, I've done that already." This is Eddie Banjo. Eddie Banjo is a guy it's my dad's earliest memory. The back door of the house opens and there's this guy there. He's playing a banjo made out of a biscuit tin, and he's singing "You Are My Sunshine," which is my dad's favourite song, I should say. None of my songs. There's just a song by a racist man. You Are My Sunshine. This is, Eddie Banjo. It turned out he was a World War II shell shock victim. And he was kind of being looked after by the people of the town. So this is a very easy song to join in with. It's like a level 1 folk song. So you should be all right. You just have to sing Eddie Banjo lots. It also has one chord, which makes it very easy to join in with. So this is your bit. Eddie Banjo, Eddie Banjo. That's your bit there. You'll have to sing really loud though. Eddie Banjo, tramping in the rain. Eddie Banjo, picking on a biscuit tin. Who's good for a handout? Where's good for a feed? Who's good for a hard luck story? Where's good for a sleep? Eddie Banjo, Eddie Banjo came back from the war. Eddie Banjo, not the same man anymore. Stick along the railings, just like machine gun fire. All the children laugh out loud when they see him die. Eddie Banjo, Eddie Banjo, gentleman of the road. Eddie Banjo knocks on the back door. He knows where all the good folks are. There he leaves a sign. He only ever played one song, played it all the time. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when the skies are gray. You'll never know Thank you. All right. So, I've got a couple of albums over there. One is called VIP, and it's all about real people, very interesting persons. That's what the VIP was short for. And I've got an album called Glasgow. And the idea of the album called Glasgow was that I would pick some famous Glasgow songs like that Cod Liver Oil that I sang you earlier, and then I would write some of my own songs about Glasgow. But I realised that as I'd gathered them together, I'd kind of covered quite a lot of the solid Glasgow topics already. Like I'd covered shipbuilding, I'd covered football violence and sectarianism, and I felt that I needed to sort of broaden my horizons and look for something to write about. So I went on Google and I just typed just the word Glasgow into Google, and up came the first page. And the result that came up that particular week, above our football teams, above the sectarianism, the football violence, and the shipbuilding, and above quite a lot of other things you would expect, like, get a hotel in Glasgow tonight or whatever, was that Justin Bieber, your Justin Bieber, he went to the Blue Lagoon fish and chip shop, and he ordered a haggis supper and a can of iron brew. So there you go, big news, big news. Now, you can live like Justin Bieber if you like, and you can go to the Blue Lagoon fish and chip shop, and you can order the Justin Bieber special, which is that deep fried haggis, the chips, or fries, as you call them, as Justin calls them, and a can of iron brew. Do you know what iron brew is? It's made from girders in Scotland, was their advertising thing. It's a fizzy drink. Scotland is the only country where the number one selling soft drink isn't Coca-Cola. It's this thing called iron brew that's kind of orange, caffeine loaded. Nobody knows what's in it. It's orange, and it cures hangovers. And Justin Bieber likes it because he believes. Anyway, like me, you're probably quite worried about Justin Bieber. And, he's got all that money and all that fame, but he's not happy. And I like to imagine, that's what this song is about, I like to imagine that maybe he found a bit of happiness. Because if you, like me, you follow him on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and occasionally on foot. If you do that, you'll know that he's a bit. There's something missing, and he doesn't have any love in his life, And I like to imagine that as the lady in the fish and chip shop handed the haggis supper across to him over the counter, maybe their eyes met, maybe their fingers just touched, and just for a moment, just while the fat was soaking through the newsprint into his fleshy little hands, just for a moment, he felt a connection with a real human being. He felt true love, and that's what this is about. Down to Central Station, that's my destination. My heart would soar like a child's lost balloon. I fell in love in the Blue Lagoon. So I would go there and I'd spend my bus fare, just in the hope that she'd notice me too. I fell in love in the Blue Lagoon. I was just a boy, never caught her eye. Another fish to fry. Thursday to Sunday, I would make my way. There was nothing else that I'd rather do. I I fell in love in the Blue Lagoon. I was just a boy, never caught her eye. Another fish to fry. Down to Central Station, that's my destination. My heart would soar like a child's lost balloon. I fell in love in the Blue Lagoon. In the Blue Lagoon. Thank you. I think I'll play you one more song. I think you've put up with enough punishment for one night. This is called Glasgow, and you'll be surprised to learn that it can be found on my Glasgow album. It's a song by a songwriter called Julia Dugan, and I think it's a very beautiful song, and I finished most of my gigs with it. Thanks very much for coming along. Thanks, John. Long John. And thanks, Tim Ted on sound. Or is it Ted Tim? On sound, and that fantastic bit where you climbed up over there. Show's not going well. I'm going to climb up on that thing. That was exciting. I thought I'd crossed into the twilight zone for a minute there. Can you hear me? Oh yeah. Okay, I'll get on with it, right? Streets get ready for another fight between the boys in white, and they sang along to the same old songs, saying one is right, the other is wrong. They want nothing more than the winning score tonight. And they will scream and shout, and they will drink on through the night. Whistles all around through the streets up in the town, past the ballroom and the boats and the River Clyde as she flows, and the girls and boys, they're all out in force tonight. They will chance their arm for a shot of love at first sight. Oh, Glasgow, make no fuss about the places I have seen. And she don't care too much about where I've been. Oh, thank you very much, folks. Cheers.
Findlay, Napier. Well, another round of applause for that guy. And having that accent too, it's just a sucker. It just melts everybody's heart, eh? Isn't it true? And the storytelling that goes with it. Thank you very much, sir. We're only going to take a 10-minute break. We're going to make it rather quick. That means you got just a short time to go. What it was? Urinate. Yeah, or buy popcorn, one or the other. But we'll be right back with Healing Trees, which is a real good treat, all the way from Winterpeg. Although they said they've had a warm winter. Right? You guys' idea of warm is different than everybody else's, I'll tell you that. But anyway, they're going to be up next, and I'm really hoping you guys stay around and listen to them because I'm very impressed with what they do. I'm kind of trying to call it progressive folk rock. Would I be right with that? Yeah, yeah. Heavy on the progressive and with that tinge of folk thrown in with the rock edge. And just, I don't